She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hey Barbie, Chloe, period I, period 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 period. Got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves. Wish you could do what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. You guys, I have been wanting to talk about this tragedy for a very long time, but I've been pretty busy. So I wanted to come and talk about this one because this story is crazy. When we first heard about this individual, you guys know the Cash App founder, Bob Lee, we found and we heard that he had been brutally stabbed while he was walking the streets of San Francisco, California. And that was initially the only information that we knew about. However, as the story unfolded and information began to be divulged, there was a really raunchy, sick lifestyle that this man was involved in, some sketchy stuff that ultimately led to this man's tragic demise. So I kind of want to get into that and talk a little bit about this case, guys, and kind of delve into some of the details that we know about the case so far. So he is a father of two, Crazy Bob Lee, who was stabbed to death in San Francisco. That's what people are referring to him as. Bob Lee has helped found multi-billion-dollar tech company Cash App. He is the founder. And see, what I have learned is the more fame, the more riches that people obtain in life, the more they get involved in very weird, underground, sketchy lifestyles. And those type of lifestyles can lead to tragic demises, as what happened with him. The more money people have, the more problems people have, what people say. A lot of them end up engaging in a lot of drugs. We hear about celebrities using a lot of drugs and addictions. They engage in a lot of promiscuity and raunchy type of orgy type stuff, guys. So this tragedy kind of is smelling like that type of situation. And Bob was attacked in San Francisco, downtown residential Recon Hill neighborhood at 2:35 a.m. on April 4th. Now, everybody knows that after 12 a.m., when it starts hitting those 1 o'clock, 2 hour hours, nothing good usually happens. Those are usually the areas and the time frames when very dangerous situations can occur. So knowing the time frame he was out at 2:35 a.m. already smells suspicious. Lee helped found multi-billion-dollar tech company Cash App, a mobile payment service, and then became chief technology officer at the payment company Block. When he died, he was the chief product officer at Mobile Coin, a crypto payment firm. His death rippled shockwaves through the tech company. And at first, people started to blame San Francisco. People were saying, oh no, San Francisco's getting more dangerous, blah, 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 blah. Even Elon Musk came in and gave his 2 cents saying, oh Lord, yeah, the DA in San Francisco needs to do something about the crime in San Francisco. It's getting bad, blah, 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 right? But as the case started to unfold, it was really the lifestyle that Bob Lee was involved in, because more money, more problems, people start getting involved in very sketchy lifestyles. He had all this money at his fingertips and he wanted to splurge on some very raunchy lifestyle practices, guys. It's very sad. kind of what happened to him, because he has 2 kids and he was formerly married. Lee's former boss and Twitter founder, Jack Dorsey, was one of many well-known San Francisco tech entrepreneurs to express their shock and grief at Bob Lee's death. Was Cash App founder Bob Lee married? Let's talk about it. Lee was married to his wife, Krista, at the time of this tragedy. So he actually was married. He shared 2 children. He had recently relocated to Miami, Florida, but came back to San Francisco for a work trip when he was unalived, police said, or friends said. So when he went to San Francisco, he thought he was going to live it up while he was on this work trip and, get involved in some of his raunchy practices before he headed back to Miami. Some reports said Krista was still living in San Francisco. Lee's father referred to him as a bachelor, but it was unclear whether Lee and his wife were still together. So even though he was married, it's not certain whether he actually was married at the time of his demise or whether they was having some type of issues in the marriage. But he did have children here. He was allegedly married with Krista, and he had these 2 children here that you could see on the photo. So that's sad. These children are now going to be without a father. He had recently relocated to Miami, Florida, and was in San Francisco for a work trip when he was unalived. And here is a photo of him with his family during good times, here with his wife and here with his 2 children. So I just feel really heartbroken for the kids that have lost their father in the midst of this tragedy, because the lifestyle he chose to have, because he had all this money and he thought, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just be my raunchy self, and got involved with some very sketchy people, in my opinion. Lee's death ripped shockwaves through the tech company, and here you can see him here when he was more with his wife on better days. Here is another family photo of Bob Lee, and it's very sad because this man really changed the game. He is one of the reasons why we have Cash App, and a lot of us use Cash App for our financial means and transactions. And this man is the one that helped make that possible. And it's just sad to have people like this who are making great advancements in technology, in the technology community, be unalived because of situations that they're involved in, unfortunately. He helped found the multi-billion-dollar tech company Cash App. What was Bob Lee's job, and what was he known for? After working as an open source code developer in St. Louis, Missouri, he went to San Francisco in his early 20s in 2004 to work as an engineer at Google. According to the San Francisco Standard. Oh, that's so cool, guys. He worked at Google at first, and he was an engineer there, and then he kind of branched out and made his own thing. That is cool, right? There he led the core library developments for Android. Wow, that is so neat. Lee was headhunted by Square, becoming its 13th employee, where he helped launch Android and Cash App. Wow. And became the payment firm's first chief technology officer in 2011, a LinkedIn profile shows. Wow, I'm telling you guys, engineers are making some serious prominent advancements in society. It's a pretty good field to get involved in if you're studying in school. After leaving Square in 2014, he invested in several tech startups, including Clubhouse, Beeper, and Fair, and the female-focused social media and networking company Present. He identified as a stay-at-home dad in an online blog post during this period. In 2021, Lee joined MobileCoin, a crypto payment firm, as its chief product officer. Lee, who was dubbed Crazy Bob by friends, was an active investor in numerous companies such as SpaceX, Clubhouse, and Figma. Lee's social media posts covered a timeline of his life, from personal posts with his family to professional. He was a coffee connoisseur who traveled all over the world and attended all the big tech events and festivals, including SXSW, Coachella, TechCrunch, and Burning Man. What happened on the night he was unalived? He had extended his week-long business trip to the Bay Area by just one day when he was unalived. That is sad, guys. day of extending his trip led to his demise. So had he left during the day that he was supposed to leave, he would probably be here today. That is sad, guys. Wow. Police were called to the 300 block of Main Street near the entrance of a high-rise close to the waterfront and found him suffering from multiple stab wounds. The news of Bob Lee's death was publicly confirmed by the founder of Mobile Coin, where Lee served as a chief product officer. He screamed in agony as he desperately told a 911 operator, "Help, someone stabbed me," after he was knifed on the streets of San Francisco near the Google offices. And that is very ironic, guys, that he was found stumbling near the Google offices. And that was where he literally started his career in 2004, worked there helping develop the Android and eventually advanced on to create Cash App. Can you believe that's ironic where he ended up meeting his demise? Wow. How things, the turn of events, circle back around. After being stabbed twice in the chest, Lee clutched his wound with one hand with his cell phone in the other as he pleaded for help from emergency responders, according to the images obtained by the San Francisco Standard. He stumbled up San Francisco's Main Street away from early hours of the morning, leaving a trail of blood behind him. After crossing the street, he approached a parked white Toyota Camry with its hazard lights on, which some have speculated may have been a rideshare. He called for help. Oh my gosh, guys. So after he was stabbed by the suspect that we're going to talk about a little later, he was stumbling around, bleeding out, guys. He was like trying to, and I'm going to show you a video surveillance of him stumbling around, trying to get help. He texted and got a rideshare while he was in the midst of dying. Wow. Wow, to be able to think of all that as you're dying, this is a lot. His last hours were pretty horrific. That is sad. And to be left alone, stumbling around, bleeding out and dying and no one there to help you, that is very, very, very sad. Wow. Because he called a rideshare. Wow, called a rideshare in the midst of bleeding out. I don't know if I would be able to gather and really compose myself to do all of that if I was stabbed. Wow, I feel so sad for this guy. I mean, he did make his choices to get involved in the stuff he chose to get involved in, but nobody deserves to die like this at all, period, point blank. But after lifting up his shirt and revealing his stab wounds, the car reportedly drove away. That's sad. Nobody tried to help this dude. What happened to the good bystanders that we had back in the day? Where are our good bystanders? This rideshare went and left this man to die. You didn't go and call the police? What? Guys, I am flabbergasted right now. Did you hear that? Let's read that again because that took me out. Let's read it again because this is crazy. So after crossing the street, he approached a parked white Toyota Camry with its hazard lights on, which some have speculated may have been a rideshare. He called for help. But after lifting up his shirt and revealed his stab wounds, the car reportedly drove away. That is sad. How come they didn't call the police? Call medical. Back in the day, people used to get out of their car and help people. Oh gosh, what is this? Sorry, guys. I don't know why things randomly just do that. Let's get back to where we were. Where were we? Okay. Trying to figure out where we were. Okay. So after lifting up his shirt, they left him there to just die, guys. That's sad. Lee then staggered up the hill and collapsed in front of 403 Main Street, an apartment complex called the Port Side. Police said Lee was reportedly unconscious. He was already unconscious when they even arrived, guys. He was already dead pretty much, leading officers to begin CPR on him. Authorities said in a statement that he died after being rushed to the hospital. So he was just bleeding out. Had that rideshare called the police or tried to render aid to him, he may have made it. Have police got any leads in the Bob Lee murder? Well, the suspect has already been arrested, guys. So this is outdated here. So I'm going to skip that out of the article because they already found the guy and the guy is arrested and he's already been arraigned and appointed an attorney. And we'll get into that. What have friends and family said about Bob Lee's horrific murder? Lee's father, Rick Lee, posted a statement on Facebook Wednesday afternoon. I just lost my best friend. My son, Bob Lee, when he lost his life on the street in San Francisco early Tuesday morning, he wrote, I moved to Mill Valley Hill with Bob after his mother died in 2019. Oh man, and Bob Lee's mother died? Oh wow, this poor father has experienced a lot of loss. His wife and his son. Dang. So he said, I moved to Mill Valley, California with Bob Lee after his mom died. His mother died in 2019, and we recently relocated to Miami in October 2022. Life has been an adventure with two bachelors living together, and I'm so happy that we were able to become so close these last years. Bob would give you the shirt off his back. He would never look down on anyone and adhered to a strict no judgment philosophy. Bobby worked harder than anyone and was the smartest person I have ever known. He will be missed by all those that knew him. Thank you to those who have reached out in support. Heartbroken friends and colleagues pay tribute to the tech executive, with Joshua Goldberg saying, my heart is broken tonight. He added Bob was a force of nature, he helped to birth Android and Cash App into our world. Wow, guys. So I know that he helped to birth Android too. I know that he worked on the Android with Google, but I didn't know he was the one that helped actually birth it. Wow. Moby was his dream, a private protecting wallet for the 21st century. I will miss him every day. Wow, guys, this is very sad, man, to lose somebody this monumental. Bill Bob Hart added Bob was a dad, the former CTO of Square, where he created Cash App, CTO of Mobile Coin. He was a generous, decent man, being who didn't deserve to be unalived. Co-founder Twitter Jack Dorsey said it's real. Getting calls, heartbreaking. Bob was instrumental in the Square and Cash App. STL guy. That's sad. That is so sad, guys. A friend who was planning to meet Lee in Miami had told The Standard that Lee had been in San Francisco on business, had stayed an extra day, and was unalived on that day. Man, that's so ironic, dude. The friend said, I'm still shocked. No way he did anything to provoke this. And I feel like he would have just handed his money and watch to a mugger. Well, he wasn't mugged. This was personal, guys. This was personal. He did comment on San Francisco decorating, which is why he actually had just relocated to, let's go back. He did comment on San Francisco deteriorating, not decorating, deteriorating. They're saying it's fallen by the wayside, which is why he actually had just relocated to Miami, said Jake Shields, a champion UFC fighter who knew Lee well. Shields told News Nation that Lee had no enemies. He kind of did. He was involved in some raunchy stuff that was underground that people didn't know about. And we're going to get into that. So he seemed like a great guy on the surface, but behind closed doors, there were some people who may not have liked him. And unfortunately, this was not a justified reason to take this man's life. But the more information comes out about it, the more the motive is starting to shed its light. Shields told News Nation that Lee had no enemies, adding he was a good human being. He added to society. He was a good person. Everyone loved him. He was really respected in the tech community, never talked about his accomplishments. Other people would say, oh, yeah, Bob's a super big deal in the tech industry. So Bob was more of a humble man. You know, he didn't go around bragging and being arrogant and egotistical. He let his success speak for itself. Other people spoke for his success. People like that who are humble and they don't have to go around bragging about their accomplishments. Elon Musk was among those commenting on Lee's murder and asked the San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins what she is doing to incarcerate repeated violent offenders. And see, Elon Musk spoke way too soon because he don't even know what's going on, y'all. Musk is always getting his mouth involved in everything. But Musk said in response to Shields' tweet, very sorry to hear that. Many people I know have been severely assaulted. Violent crime in San Francisco is horrific. And even if attackers are caught, they are often released immediately. Is the city taking stronger action to incarcerate repeat violent offenders? Brooke Jenkins. That's the comment that Elon Musk said. He was calling out the district attorney and trying to make her look bad and all that stuff. When in reality, y'all, what was really going on is that this was a personal matter. Now, I kind of want to show you guys some of the video surveillance that was involved in this and stuff like that. They said that Bob's killing in crime rate in San Francisco neighborhood was at least the 12th murder there this year. Wow, that's what the police were saying, guys. But again, this was a personal crime. They're saying that the police force is understaffed and the entire neighborhood is now at a tipping point. But again, they're focusing on general crime in San Francisco. This wasn't a general crime situation. This is the San Francisco Police Officers Association Vice President Lieutenant Tracy McCrae. She said the neighborhood where Cash App founder was unalived is severely lacking when it comes to police patrol and has already witnessed at least 12 homicides this year alone. So it is a sketchy area where he was also. Now let's look at this video surveillance here, guys. This is a video surveillance of Bob Lee. It's so sad, guys. Oh my God, this is him right here, but let's play it. So that was a big clip, guys. Oh, there it is. So you can see the circle is supposed to be him outside of this building here. It's sad, like him trying to get help. The car drives away. You can see that car driving away with him trying to get help from that car. 2:35 a.m. in the morning, 4th. Pretty sad. I don't really see where he is right now. If you guys see him, where is he? There he is. There's a circle of him right there walking back to that area, trying to get help. You could see him desperately searching for help after he was stabbed. That is just so sad, y'all. And there he is right there. He's trying to get into that building, trying to see if somebody's there who could help him. Then he falls down because he lost so much blood. That is so heartbreaking. I mean, can you imagine what was in this man's head as he was dying? Dang, poor dude. And people were saying that he also was using drugs too. So I don't know if allegedly, this is allegedly what people are saying, that he was on drugs, allegedly. And so I don't know if the drugs affected his comprehension too. I don't know how that could have affected him also. It's just like, man, you see him on the ground like he had literally lost his strength because, running around with a bunch of wounds. He was stabbed 3 times. Running around with wounds like that could aggravate the situation. Oh, wow. He even got up after that. Oh, my gosh, guys. This is crazy. There he is right there. Oh, my God. This is so sad. Wow. I can't believe they post stuff like this. This is so horrific. See, this is right here where he's laying down. He's texting someone. I don't know how he was able to text someone as you're dying. Oh, no, poor guy. And there you can see a little blood. That's why they're blurring out the blood right there where that circle is. This is where that was where a little spots of blood was. Man, that is sad, guys. Oh, my gosh. When you see the video surveillance, it really puts things into, how do I pause this? It really puts things into context. And what makes this case so tragic, guys, is to see the lack of empathy from humanity. Lee was ignored by passerbys. That is sad. Who did not help him as he bled out and collapsed to the ground. Now, I know it was 2:35 in the morning. Maybe people were more skeptical, scared. They didn't know if this guy was, crazy or something. Maybe they thought he was some homeless guy. But it's like, seriously, like nobody helped this man. When he's dying out, his last moments, he was ignored by anybody he reached out to. That is heartbreaking. Although the recon area where Lee was unalived is generally quiet, residents and visitors alike have shared concern that they could easily become targets. Some locals have noted how the area, which has a multi-million dollar apartments, is where tech industry moguls, celebrities, and Golden State Warriors basketball team members have been known to live. So it's a more prominent, affluent area. It's a very, a lot of the celebrities and high profile people live in that affluent area. But like anything else, that's probably a target of people who would like to rob because they know that that's an affluent area. But downtown San Francisco has remained largely deserted post-pandemic and is now famed for open drug abuse and violence thanks to the progressive city's permissive policies. The brutal unaliving in former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's staunchly Democrat electoral district has ignited concern over public safety and soaring homelessness in the city as a whole. So far this year has been 39 murders, while the San Francisco Police Department under a shortfall of only 541 officers. Wow. Police statistics for the Southern District and Recon Hill area specifically show robberies to have increased by around 14% compared to last year, with 12 homicides in the area between January and April. And here is, again, the chief here. This is Police Lieutenant Tracy McCray, currently the president of the San Francisco Police Officers Association. And here's another still shot, guys, of Bob Lee right here as he's stumbling to his death. DailyMail.com revealed harrowing surveillance footage that captured the dying tech mogul's final moments as he staggered towards an apartment building on 403 Main Street after being stabbed in San Francisco in the early morning hours of Tuesday. Wow. Oh my gosh, guys. This story is so sad. Ugh. So sad. Here's some more still shots. Right here, you can see him stumbling to his death. Here, as he falls. So sad. Another still shot of him. He was 43 years old, guys. He appeared disoriented and he collapsed in front of an apartment complex named the Portside on 403 Main Street. Let's see if I can get back because it's kind of not really showing it as clear as I want it to show. What just happened? All right, let's get back to the article. Sorry, I lost the article, guys. Let's get back to it. But as you can see, it's just sad, seeing his last moments and just knowing and realizing that this man was ignored by people around him, people that could have helped him, who could have rendered his aid. And it's probably one of the reasons why he ended up dying, because no one helped. No one tried to get this man help. It's very heartbreaking. So again, these are some of the still shots you can see as he's collapsing, trying to get up, trying to get help, trying to text. He is seen texting frantically in an apparent attempt to seek help. Wow. And then here you can see him here. CCTV footage from a second camera inside the lobby shows Lee stumbling towards the entrance of the building before falling apart. That is so sad. Violent crimes across San Francisco have also risen 7.5% over the past 3 years, with property crime surging 20.7% over the same period. Homicides increased 36.6%. Locals told Daily Mail they blamed the soft on crime progressive policies brought in by the likes of the former district attorney, Shesia Bowden, who was tossed from the office in a recall election last year. It's too liberal, too much, and we're paying for it, one said. Repeat offenders are back out on the streets in a heartbeat, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're scared. Well, in this case, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with a personal situation. So people are trying to make this tragedy a political issue. And that's what really frustrates me about crime, is because a lot of times when an incident or a tragedy happens, a lot of politicians and people try to make it into something political when this is not that type of situation. So sad. Bob Lee is pictured with his wife, Krista, and 2 daughters that had decided to stay an extra day in San Francisco on a business trip. He recently moved, like I said, to Miami, and we already seen this photo. They gave us another photo. But here you can see people are giving their well wishes. They have laid flowers and sympathy messages by a tree outside the building where he was found deceased, or basically struggling with unconscious. Flowers and cards left as people paying tribute to Bob Lee near their Portside apartment building in San Francisco. That is so sad. This man truly was a trailblazer. He truly helped advance technology. You know, forever, Cash App will be a legacy that he has left for our country. Father of 2, Lee relocated from San Francisco to Miami last year because he was worried about the West Coast city's soaring rate and rampant homelessness, according to the friends. Oh, okay. So he didn't like the crime over there either. That's why he left. He returned on a business trip and was attacked while walking through the Swish neighborhood, where residents have become so weary of violent robberies that they now pay for private security patrols. None were close by at the time of Lee's stabbing. Video provided by Daily Mail reveals Chief Product Officer, a crypto firm mobile coin, staggering along Main Street. Oh gosh, why does this keep doing that? Sorry guys, I don't know why I keep getting that pop-up. It's getting on my nerves. Thank you for your patience. Anyways, Mayor London Breed. Oh wow, what is this? Is this still the article that we're on? Okay, here it is. Lee's chief officer was seen staggering along Main Street and trying to flag down a passing car at the intersection with Harrison Street. When the motorist shockingly drives off without helping, Lee stumbles 70 yards back down Main Street towards the Portside luxury apartment complex, but collapses as he reaches for the door entry system. Bloodied and dazed, Lee was able to ring cops himself to say he'd been stabbed, but couldn't give his precise location. First responders reached the fading tech exec within 6 minutes, but by then it was too late. The victim was transported to a local hospital while life-threatening injuries. Despite efforts by first responders and medical personnel, the victim succumbed to his injuries, the San Francisco Police Department said in a statement. A kitchen knife with a 4-inch blade was found in a parking lot across the street, according to ABC 7 News. Cops are yet to make any arrests. So the murder weapon was found there. This is very fluid. This is all very fluid. It's still an active, an open investigation. The officer said, "We want to assure everyone that the investigations are working diligently and doing the best they can to bring justice to Mr. Lee and his loved ones." And as you can see here, there's a lot of homelessness in California. It's just very bad. There's literally tents that are stacked all across the sidewalks everywhere, guys. It's so sad. You can literally walk all across the different streets and you'll see homeless tents all over the place. Lee's shocking murder has drawn attention to San Francisco's growing crime and homelessness problem, which some critics have blamed on the city's progressive anti-law enforcement policies. Residents have complained of brazen shoplifting, rampant fentanyl use becoming commonplace in the city thanks to soft stance on drugs and crime. You can see here, they got photos of people on drugs here. This is literally going on. Zombie-like drug addicts are pictured using and being strung out on drugs in downtown San Francisco on Thursday. This is the people you would see if you walk down the streets of San Francisco. It's just not a nice area anymore. It used to be very nice. San Francisco used to be a very attractive place to visit. Tourists love to go there, but now it's just, there's a lot of just sick stuff going on there. Mayor London Breed insisted this week the city was prioritizing public safety and would be dipping into $27 million budget supplemental. And all this stuff, guys, is all political at this point. And I don't really care about what their political stance is on this, because as I mentioned, this was a personal situation, y'all. Shown in the Rincon Hill neighborhood along Main Street near where Bob Lee was fatally stabbed in San Francisco. So this is the building, guys, where he was fatally stabbed and was found stumbling around. See, it's a more rich area, affluent area. And again, he was involved in some sketchy stuff. This was the front of the apartment Portside area where he was knocking on that door. This is the area of 403 Main Street. This was the door that he was knocking at, trying to get in, trying to get help. It's a general view of Portside apartment complex on Main Street in Rincon Hill, where officers later arrived to find a fatally wounded Lee on the ground, unconscious. Lee, dubbed Crazy Bob by friends, was an active investor in numerous companies such as SpaceX, Clubhouse, and Figma. Shaken friends and colleagues paid tribute to him, with Joshua Goldberg, Mobile Coins founding, saying, "My heart is broken tonight." Co-founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, said, "It's real, getting calls, heartbreaking." Bob was instrumental to Square and Cash App. Lee was chief technology officer at Square, recently renamed Block when it developed and launched Square Cash in 2013. The brand grew into Cash App with tens of millions of users in the US and in the UK. So that was kind of like the background information on this tragedy, guys. But more information has since come out, and the suspect involved was well known. He was another tech dude involved. They had arrested this guy. Let me go ahead and talk about that arrest here before we get into the details of what really went on in this tragedy, y'all. It's crazy. Let's see. Where is it? Let's see if I can find the other article. Here's an article I want to talk about the individual who was involved. So Cash App founder was seen stabbed 3 times with a kitchen knife, and he was left to die slowly on San Francisco street, allegedly at the hands of a tech consultant angry over Lee's relationship with his sister, San Francisco prosecutors said. So when they eventually found the man who had stabbed Bob Lee, it was this man who was mad about his sister being involved with Bob Lee. And Bob Lee and this man's sister were involved in like orgy type, I don't know. They were doing some weird, sick stuff. Let me show you a photo of this man that allegedly unalived Bob Lee. Let's show you. This man is very protective over his sister. And he was mad because he thought that his sister, here's the man here on the left side here with the orange. He is Nimi, the alleged suspect who stabbed Mr. Bob Lee 3 times. And allegedly, according to the allegations, he was mad because he felt like his sister was having some type of sleeping, they were doing some physical activity, you guys, and that he felt that Bob Lee gave his sister drugs. And so he was angry. His sister is this privileged woman who is married to this very prominent doctor, but she gets involved in some sketchy stuff. It's like these rich people, they have this secret group, right? You got to pay, you got to pay huge amounts of money to be involved in this sick group. And in this sick wildlife type group, people are given drugs, they engage in sexual activity, they just do a lot of sick stuff. And this woman's brother didn't like it. He's very overprotective over his sister. And he thought that Bob Lee had given his sister drugs and was having physical relations with his sister. And he didn't like it. He was pretty mad. So what he did was he brought a kitchen knife with him. He had an argument with Bob Lee. He was like accusing Bob Lee of giving his sister drugs, being sexually involved with his sister. He didn't like that. He don't want her having an affair with this man when she's married and all that stuff, right? So he was confronting Bob Lee about it. Bob Lee told this man, "Hey, I'm not giving your sister drugs. I'm not doing anything with your sister." But the brother was already angry and he wasn't having it. He didn't believe Bob Lee. He was like, "Boy, bye. I think you're doing it." So what he said was he told Bob Lee to get in his car and he was going to drop him off. Little did Bob Lee know is this sick man allegedly brought a kitchen knife with him in the car, having this underlying intent allegedly to unalive and brutally unalive this man. So he drives him to this secluded area over there. And when they get out the car to talk further, this man here allegedly stabs Bob Lee 3 times and leaves him to die. Just takes off, leave this man to die. That is just so sad. And the sad part about it is he has the audacity in court to claim it's self-defense. I'm like, how is it self-defense when you brought a knife with you? You brought that knife with you expecting a confrontation. And people are saying Bob Lee is not the type of to be confrontational anyway. So it sounds like a very overprotective brother to me. But anyway, let's talk more about this, guys. Where are we at in this case? They said that he was stabbed by an angry consultant over Lee's relationship with his sister, San Francisco prosecutor said Friday. Authorities released a detailed narrative of the events leading up to Lee's slaying, which shocked San Francisco and the tech world. While some assumed Lee was a victim of a street crime, prosecutors laid out a complex series of personal interactions that ended in his death. Nima Momeni, the man in orange, is a tech consultant and an entrepreneur. He was upset over whether anything inappropriate had happened with his sister and Bob Lee. According to the documents prosecutors filed in San Francisco Superior Court, asking a judge to keep him in custody without bail. At 2:35 a.m. April 4th, Lee was found bleeding to death because of it as a result. And he was near the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge. And when he was taken to the hospital, he ultimately died. Now, at 3:30 p.m., April 3rd, a close friend of Lee's met him at an apartment on Mission Street, where Lee was with Momeni's sister at the time at 3:30 that day. So Bob Lee was hanging out with Momeni's sister, the man in orange, his sister. The friend said in court documents that Lee, Momeni's sister, and another friend were drinking, guys. They were out drinking, partying, whatever. Momeni didn't like that at all. Lee told the friend that they were leaving and they invited Momeni's sister to go with them, right? She declined, prosecutor said. The friend went with Lee to his hotel room at One Hotel San Francisco, where the friend said Lee had a conversation with Momeni about his younger sister. So the young lady that Mr. Momeni was mad about, his sister, she was his younger sister. So he's protective of her being his older, being her older brother. You know how older brothers are. They protect their sisters. That's kind of how he was. Okay. So he had a conversation with Bob Lee about his younger sister and how Momeni had picked her up from Mission Street apartment. It's unclear from the court documents whether Lee and Momeni's conversation took place in person, by phone, or otherwise. According to the friend, Momeni's questioned Lee about whether his sister had done drugs or anything inappropriate, and Lee reassured him that nothing of the sort happened. The friend, who was not notified in court documents, had met Momeni's sister 3 to 4 years ago and said that she was married, but that the relationship had possibly been in jeopardy. And she was married to a very prominent figure. He was an affluent doctor, a very successful doctor. So this woman had money, guys, according to the prosecutors. The friend wasn't sure whether Lee and Momeni's sister had an intimate relationship. Lee and his sister went to another apartment where they hung out until Lee left at 12:30 a.m. So Bob Lee was hanging out with Mr. Momeni's sister along with a friend, right? According to the court documents. Lee's friend called Momeni's sister and asked whether Lee had gone to her apartment at Millennium Tower. She said that Lee went there for a second, but that she fell asleep and didn't know when he left. The San Francisco Police Department retrieved surveillance video from Millennium Tower showing a white BMW Z4 arriving at the apartment at 8:31 p.m. and Momeni leaving the car and entering the apartment. So this brother is very overprotective. This woman is a grown woman, y'all. She could take care of herself. And this man is still over here overprotective about his sister. About 12:39 a.m., Lee arrived and also entered the apartment. The video shows the pair leaving the apartment at 2:03 a.m. with Momeni wearing a light tan and white jacket and Lee wearing all black. So the brother came to his sister's house to find out what was going on because he felt some sketchy stuff was going on. And he felt like, I think what the brother, my theory is that the brother, because the sister had fell asleep, I think the brother was feeling like Bob Lee gave his sister some type of drug so that he can take advantage of her. That's what I'm thinking. And the brother was overprotective about that. That's what I think. Surveillance footage then shows the BMW to drive to a dark area on Main Street and park. Two subjects enter the frame, one wearing dark colored clothing, which was Bob Lee, consistent with Bob Lee's clothes, and one wearing the light colored top consistent with Momimi's jacket, according to the prosecutors. After standing for 5 minutes, the person in the light top moves suddenly toward the other person. So that is the allegation that at that time, it's alleged that Momini moved towards Bob Lee. The people then separate, and the person in the dark colored clothing stumbles away injured. So when the person in light moves towards Bob Lee, it appears that's the time when he was stabbing Bob Lee 3 times. The person in a light colored top walks south on the sidewalk, gets into the BMW, and speeds away, leaving Bob Lee to stumble and die, basically. Lee was stabbed once in the hip, twice in the chest, with one of the wounds directly penetrating his heart. This seems like an intentional murder to me, because he went for a vital organ, his heart, stabbed this man in the heart, guys, according to an autopsy. He was left to slowly die after the attack, the prosecutor said. This is so sad, man. Police found a kitchen knife with a black handle that appeared to have blood on it in a parking lot near the sidewalk, seen in the surveillance video of the stabbing, prosecutor said. Investigators found Lee's phone and unlocked it with a password from his family's. Prosecutor said on the phone, investigators found a FaceTime call was made between Nima via Kazar, which is the woman that is the center of this issue, according to the court documents. And let me see if I can get a picture of her on the screen, because she is the central subject of this case, y'all. We kind of saw her picture before, but let's look at another picture of her. And again, she is a very prized, privileged young lady, getting spoiled, getting flued out. Her husband is a very prominent, rich man. So she was having issues in her marriage. And so she's involved in this raunchy group that Mr. Bob Lee's involved in. And her brother wasn't having it. She's the younger sister. So brother wasn't having it and took matters in his own hand, unfortunately. Prosecutors did not identify Momini's sister by name in the court documents, but sources familiar with the case said her name is Kazar Momini. Investigators also found a text message from Nima Momini's sister, who apologized to Lee for her brother's behavior. Wow. So she saw the initial argument between her and her older brother, between Bob Lee and her older brother. And so she sent a message to Bob Lee apologizing to him about what was going on. This is a crazy story, guys. Investigators also found a text message. Or sorry, I already talked about that. Just wanted to make sure you're doing okay. That's in the text message. She said, she told Bob Lee, she apologized for her brother's behavior, and she said, just wanted to make sure you're doing okay, because I know Nima came way down hard on you. And thank you for being such a classy man, handling it with class. Love you, selfish pricks, the sister wrote. That's crazy, y'all. This story is crazy, right? My gosh. And I just wanted to show you that so you can read it yourself here of what she said when she. This is the last message that she sent to Bob Lee, apologizing to him. I wanted to make sure he was doing okay, because I know Nima came way down too hard on you, and thank you for being such a classy man, handling it with class. Love you, selfish pricks. Now, this text message to me is pretty monumental, because it can go towards showing that Bob Lee is not an aggressive man. It can refute the argument that Nima is presenting, claiming self-defense, because she claims that Bob Lee was classy. He handled it, with class. He was not disrespectful to her brother in any way. So for her brother to claim that self-defense, and there's video surveillance showing that he was not violent anyway, and it was actually Nima who allegedly went towards him and charged Bob Lee, during the video surveillance, it doesn't seem like this was self-defense, guys. Momeni, 38, was arrested Thursday and charged with murder and an enhancement for using a deadly or dangerous weapon, which carries an additional consecutive year of imprisonment. If convicted, Momeni faces 26 years to life in prison. And I hope he does, experience that whole life in prison, because he took this man's life because he couldn't control his emotions. Now, I know you want to protect your sister, but boy, this woman is a grown woman. She can care for herself. Now, if she was a minor and she was, a teenager out there doing things and was taken advantage of, that's different. But this girl is a grown woman. She's a married wife. This woman, she can take care of herself. Boy, she was just fine. I'm just saying, okay? According to a source familiar with the circumstances of the event leading up to the killing, Momeni and Lee were in the same friend group, but didn't know each other very well. Now, this friend group seemed kind of raunchy, y'all. I told you they be doing a lot of sketchy stuff, which is probably why the brother was skeptical about his sister hanging out with Bob Lee, because he probably knows the sketchy stuff that Bob Lee is involved in, allegedly. Okay. Now, we already know that Lee was a chief technology officer at the payments platform Square, which has since been renamed Block, when he founded the company's mobile payment service Cash App in 2013. He lived in Mill Valley, California after his mother died in 2019, then moved to Miami in October. According to his father's post, Bob worked harder than anyone. It was the smartest I could ever have known. He was staying in San Francisco a few days to spend time with friends after a mobile coin leadership summit, said his friend Doug Dalton, who met Lee years ago when both were software engineers. That's pretty cool. Lee and Momeni had friends in common, but were not close friends, Dalton said. Momeni owned a business called Expand IT, which he operated from Emeryville, live work building, where he was arrested Thursday morning. So Momeni was arrested at work, and he also flows within the same community, the tech community, as Bob Lee. Who knows if he had an underlying jealousy towards Bob Lee? He might have been. The company, which was founded in 2010, provided tech services for clients in healthcare, finance, and other businesses, according to Momeni's LinkedIn. Sam, who works in an office next to Momeni's, serves on the building board, said they met when Singer was moving into a space a month ago. He called Momeni a kind professional gentleman, but noted an odd incident the night before Lee's death, April 3rd, when a woman entered the building and screamed the name Nima, according to Singer, as well as posts in the building private Facebook group. So they got a Facebook group that was talking about there was this very odd incident involving Momeni and some female, allegedly. Singer said the episode was so unnerving to residents that a complaint was filed about it. So it seems like this tech guy has issues already with people. I heard that, I heard through the grapevine that he was problematic. There were other people talking about this man on other apps and other discussions, and they said this man was problematic, even with women, allegedly. Russell Haynes, owner of the Coast Range Technologies in the San Francisco Bay Area, said Momeni was an IT consultant at a company in 2006. Momeni was a quiet, respectful worker who often went out in the field to troubleshoot problems at businesses, Haynes said. He was a young man, eager to learn IT. He wanted to run his own business, Haynes said. So it seems like he was an up-and-coming IT person. So that can breed a sense of jealousy. He probably was jealous of Bob Lee, too, who is this well-established, successful founder of Cash App, billionaire, probably, multi-billionaire over here. And he probably was jealous. He was shocked to hear that Momeni was arrested on a suspicion of murder. That's not the Nima of my day. Everybody always say that, y'all. It's so cliche. They always say, oh, I never would have thought. Momeni was, look at this, guys. Momeni was charged in 2011 in Alameda County with driving with a suspended license and selling a switchblade knife. So he's known to have knives. He pleaded no contest to the moving violation. The knife charge was dismissed. He was sentenced to 10 days in county jail, 3 years of probation. He was also charged in 2004 with driving under the influence of alcohol, a misdemeanor. The charge was dismissed. Neighbor Chris Donatello said Momini seemed friendly and welcoming, adding that nothing appeared amiss when he saw Momini after Lee's death. I saw him last week just outside of the parking lot, Donatello said. I said, hey, haven't seen you in a while. How are you? And he said, better now that I'm seeing you. So it seems like there's always two sides to people. They'll show in the public one side, and then they'll show another side to other people. So here is a photo of this woman looked like she come out of Hollywood or, the red carpet. Look, you can see this is her. This is the young lady, or she's not even young at this point, but she is a very, look at her. This is going to be, I feel like this is going to be a Netflix special one day. This woman looked like she came out of the red carpet in Hollywood somewhere or on the front of a magazine somewhere. Look at her. Bougie glasses on, looking like Hollywood celebrity herself. VSL glasses on. This woman has got money, y'all. Old money, too. And here's our family members here. And they were all giving hearts and stuff. Her name is Kazar Alasina. That's her, the girl that was involved in this tragedy, the center of this confrontation. Visits the Hall of Justice in San Francisco before her brother's hearing Friday in the slaying of tech entrepreneur Bob Lee. So this has got to be crazy, y'all. This has got to be all insane. Now, Nima, the man who is the suspect, he is 38 years old. You are too old to be over here acting a fool over your younger sister. She's in her 30s. This woman is grown. I don't get it. This woman can make her own decisions. Okay. I feel like there was more to this motive, not just his sister. I feel like Nima was jealous too, because he was this up and coming IT tech dude, and he sees this well-established, affluent man over here who is in the same career field as he is, being involved with his younger sister, and he wasn't having it, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion. I'm trying to see if I can see more pictures. This person said, this is more about human nature and human behavior than it is our city. That's what the DA says. You take this out of San Francisco and they knew each other. It could have been in any other city. I don't think it would have changed the circumstances. I agree with her on that. People need to stop making this a political situation because it's not. This was a personal situation between two individuals who knew each other, allegedly. After Lee's death, tech executives and other high-profile figures, including Twitter chief executive Elon Musk, was over here trying to make it a political situation. Okay. Now, here's what the prosecutor had to say in response to Elon Musk. She said, I must point out that reckless and irresponsible statements like those contained in Mr. Elon Musk's tweets that assumed incorrect circumstances about Mr. Lee's death serve to mislead the world in their perception of San Francisco and also negatively impacts the pursuit of justice for victims of crime as it spreads misinformation at a time when police are trying to solve a very difficult case, Jenkins said Thursday. Now, I'm happy about her comeback to Mr. Elon Musk because Elon Musk is always trying to put his head into everything that don't concern him. He over here talking prematurely when he don't even know what happened. Boy, bye. Stop trying to make this into an issue. So I thought her comeback to Elon Musk was really good. Okay. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to be a Netflix or a documentary tragedy. I really feel that because we got all these affluent people involved in this high profile case. This woman looked like she walking out of a magazine somewhere, married to this very rich, affluent doctor and her brother getting involved. It's just crazy, guys. It's crazy. And once we hear about the backstory of this man, and what he was involved in, he was involved in some raunchy, groups and stuff, which we're going to talk about. It's crazy. Okay. Now, a lot of this stuff right here is redundant, so I'm not reading it. That's why I'm skipping over it. Now, Lee's brother, Tim Lee, said after the arrest that the family was thankful for the SFPD for bringing this person to justice so quickly. Hopefully now our family can begin the healing process, he wrote on Facebook. I also want to thank the thousands of friends, family, and community that have reached out with support over the last week. Now, again, they're just repeating a lot of this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's redundant. Let's see if there's anything new else in this article that we can discuss. This case is crazy, y'all. What do y'all think about this crazy case? Oh, my gosh. Let's see. Let's see here. This person said, Okay. George Tita, a professor of criminology at UC Irvine, said comments such as Musk's statements are damaging. They were talking about Elon Musk. They went into Elon. In response to inquiries from the Times about Musk comments, Twitter responded with an automated poop emoji. Oh my God. Elon is so petty, guys. These rich people out here are so arrogant and so petty. Instead of apologizing and walking back his statement, he just put a poop emoji, y'all. I'm done. So George Tita, a professor of criminology at UC Irvine, said comments such as Elon Musk's are damaging because they alter the public's perception of crime versus the real effect of it. You can't walk those statements back, Tita said. The damage is done. Such a high-profile criticism, he said, also tends to get much more attention than analysis of city crime statistics, which show crime is not skyrocketing as critics have portrayed. Some people believe places like San Francisco and Los Angeles are a war zone when it's just not the case, Tita said. It's very important to not be dismissive and say there isn't crime or we should ignore it. But you have to keep perspective on this. Venture capitalist Matt Oka, a friend of Lee's, tweeted shortly after his death that the criminal-loving city council said Bowden have Bob's literal blood on their hands, charging that the city's official enabled a lawless San Francisco for years. That's BS. This was a personal matter. They need to stop making this into a lie. Please stop. Oka had repeatedly tweeted about crime in San Francisco on Wednesday. He said Wednesday, we're experiencing seething, grinding lawlessness, blah, blah. This is lies, guys. This was personal. This had nothing to do with the crime rate or anything like that. This had to happen to do with two people who had a confrontation over this man's younger sister. He was overprotective over and probably had some underlying jealousy towards Bob Lee, in my humble opinion. Now, let's get to the juicy stuff, guys. This case gets more and more crazy because more information has come out. Wait, hold on. Here it is. Sorry, guys. I lost the page. More information has come out about this case, and it shed some light on some of the sketchy stuff that Bob Lee was involved in that could have led to his death. So the Cash App founder joined in wild lifestyle parties, guys, before his stabbing. He was involved in some really raunchy stuff, okay? Which probably is what led to this man's death. I mean, more money, more problems. We hear that all the time, guys, and it's starting to show that it's true. Cash App founder Bob Lee was a part of a San Francisco sex and drugs clique before he was unalived, a new report says. That is some raunchy stuff, guys. So this rich, affluent man used his money and his prominence to join this high-level, high-profile sex and drugs secret group. And only the affluent people knew about this underground group. And you had to have big dollars to be a part of this group. And allegedly, it's claimed that this sister of Mr. Mamini was involved in that sex and drugs group also. So, guys, it's getting crazy. Isn't this case getting crazy? Lee was stabbed 3 times in the middle of the night on a San Francisco street. Blah, blah, blah. He collapsed. We talked about that. Here is the Miss Malibu celebrity here. I'm just saying she looked like she's somebody in a red carpet. This is the sister that was the center of the issue here with her bougie, high-profile name brand glasses on, being glamorous at the courthouse. This girl looked like she a celebrity, okay? At the time, it was reported that Lee lived in Florida and was in San Francisco for a tech summit, but it now appears Lee often went to underground parties in San Francisco with his lover, Khazar Elia Sania. So this was his lover. She was having an affair on her rich, affluent husband, and she was sleeping around with Bob Lee, and they both were involved in this sex and drug group that was this underground group. And you had to be the elite to go to these underground parties. If you're not in the elite group, you don't get to go. And so her and Bob Lee would go to these sex and drug parties, and they would do a lot of raunchy stuff. I'm just saying, allegedly. The Wall Street Journal reports that they were part of what insiders dub the lifestyle, a phase referring to a private parties with sex, cocaine, and designer drugs. What? And even the name sounds like something that's bougie. Oh, you're a part of the lifestyle. That's the name of their group, y'all. And so if you're not in this elite group, you gotta be rich. See, Bob Lee was rich, she was rich. You could see the type of high caliber people that are in this group. And they use their money, they pay big bucks to engage in this cocaine, these designer, high profile, expensive drugs, and they engage in sex during these meetings, these meetups. And he wasn't going back allegedly to San Francisco for a quote unquote business trip, y'all. He was going there to party it up in this secret, high profile, the lifestyle group, and was hanging out with his lover at the time. And see, her brother knew about this group. And he saw her with Bob Lee, and he felt like she was a bad influence on his sister, and she was over here giving her these designer drugs. This story is crazy, y'all. It is absolutely crazy. It's out of a novel. Authorities believe illegal drugs was a factor in Lee's death. And here is a pile of cocaine here. Again, I shouldn't even be saying that because YouTube is going to get me, but it is what it is, okay? I'm not getting paid. So anyway, Lee, who was separated from his wife, reportedly slept with Asanya. Okay, so both of these people had marriage issues. So Asanya had marriage issues with her doctor. Lee was having issues with his wife, Krista. They were having an affair, and they were over here sleeping around, having interactions, and Mr. Brother didn't like it. Okay, so Lee, who was separated from his wife, reportedly had physical interaction with Asanya. Court documents claim her brother, Nina Momeni, confronted Lee on the day before he died about whether she was doing drugs. Because, again, he knew that Lee was a part of the lifestyle group that engaged in cocaine and drugs. And he felt like that Bob Lee was over here giving his sister drugs because she was hanging out with him. Momeni now is charged with murdering Lee with a kitchen knife, allegedly. Surveillance cameras showed them entering Momeni's car around 2 a.m. Tuesday, April 4th. Man accused of stabbing Cash App founder pleads not guilty. So let's look at this video here, guys, of some of the updates.
Streets of San Francisco was in court today. The man accused of stabbing Cash App founder Bob Lee, leaving him to die on the streets of San Francisco, was in court today for his long-awaited arraignment. IT consultant Nima Momeni, wearing a mask and an orange jumpsuit, pleading not guilty to murder. His attorney laying out a defense.
It's a combination of an accident and self-defense. Absolutely.
It was an accident with 3 stab wounds?
There was no premeditation deliberation. Absolutely not.
District Attorney Brooke Jenkins defending the charges.
We believe that this was an intentional killing.
On April 4th, video obtained by thedailymail.com shows Lee staggering for help moments after being stabbed. Police say he managed to call 911.
There's a male screaming help, saying someone stabbed me. Advised he's bleeding out.
Lee was rushed to a hospital but died on the operating table, according to the San Francisco Medical Examiner's report. The case gaining national attention because of speculation that the tech exec was randomly killed in a city with acute public safety concerns. But 9 days later, police announcing Momeni's arrest.
Mr. Momeni was taken into custody,
revealing the two men knew each other and were on camera riding in a car together just moments before the stabbing. A motion to deny bail saying that Lee had also known the suspect's sister, Kazar, for years, and that Momeni confronted Lee about her. Prosecution documents revealing text messages from Kazar to Lee referencing an argument between the two men. She wrote, "Just wanted to make sure you're doing okay, because Nonima came way down hard on you," adding, "Thank you for being such a classy man handling it with class. Love you, selfish pricks." Kazar has been seen at her brother's previous court hearings with her husband, a prominent plastic surgeon by her side. The DA saying she declined to be interviewed by investigators, and the knife found near the crime scene with Momeni's DNA on it matched cutlery inside his sister's apartment, according to prosecutors. The autopsy by the San Francisco Medical Examiner revealed Lee had cocaine, ketamine, and alcohol in his system. Defense attorney Paula Canny making these remarks 2 weeks ago.
I mean, Bob Lee's system is like the Walgreens of recreational drugs.
today apologizing for those comments.
I got angry. I lost my temper. And because I lost my temper, I said stupid things that hurt other people.
Khomeini's defense attorney is also criticizing police for taking 9 days to arrest him when she says they knew he did it, alleging that this created more stress on the family and the community. The DA responding that the officers needed those days to collect enough evidence. Khomeini is back in court tomorrow, so a judge can set a preliminary hearing date, which is supposed to happen before June 2nd. Tom? The man accused of stabbing Cash App founder.
Wow, guys, did you hear that information? That is a lot. That is a lot. First and foremost, Miss Hollywood Bougie Queen over here is married to a freaking plastic surgeon. There's a lot of vanity that goes on in California. A lot of people are into plastic surgery, BBLs, liposuction. That's all they do, especially in Los Angeles, y'all. San Francisco. Walk the streets of Los Angeles if you ever go fly over there to visit. And you will talk to people and they will tell you about their plastic surgery. I did not know the man was a plastic surgeon. This is just crazy, okay? The girl looked like she is a straight model in Victoria's Secret somewhere, having an affair with this man. And now we're hearing about the laundry list of drugs that was in Bob Lee's system. He had cocaine and what's the other one? Y'all let me know in the chat. He had all kinds of stuff in his system and multiple drugs. And that kind of serves to show evidence that he was at this lifestyle party with the sister. Now, I wonder what was in the sister system, because if he was over here with, you know, the coke in his system, y'all, what was in Miss Lady here's system? This story is crazy, y'all. And then the plastic surgeon man is still by his wife's side, knowing good and well she over here having an affair with Bob Lee. What's really going on? Are they in an open relationship? Because I'm telling you, these people over here are involved in some really sketchy stuff. Money can make people do some sick stuff, guys. That's why I really wanted to talk about this case, because when people have a lot of money at their fingertips, they get involved in some real sick stuff. I'm like, how is the husband over here just supporting this woman who just cheated on this man, having a long-fledged intimate relationship with Bob Lee? And he over here, and this attorney is a straight clown. Did you hear her comment talking about Bob Lee had a Walgreens of drugs in his system? That was so insensitive and disrespectful. And her arguments are very weak and not persuasive. She claims it was accidental. Is that the only argument that you have? Where did she get her what law school did she go to, and what bar, and how many times did she take the bar? Because this woman sounds like a very incompetent attorney. In my opinion, it's just a humble opinion. What kind of argument how do you say that this was an accident? First and foremost, do you really think an intelligent, articulate jury is going to believe that hogwash, that this was an accident? This man is seen on camera stabbing this man 3 times, and you said that's an accident? And he was stabbed in the heart? Girl, bye. This woman lacks any form of comprehension or any type of skills out of an attorney, because that was one of the weakest arguments that she could come up with. She could have came up with something way better than that. And then she had the audacity to say self-defense when there's an actual video footage of this man charging and going towards Bob Lee, and Bob Lee not doing anything at all. So how is that self-defense when her client is the aggressor? She needs to come with something better, like maybe her client was intoxicated. He didn't know what was going on. He thought, you know, something like that. Maybe attack the mens rea. Attack the mens rea that he didn't know he was under the influence of drugs. He was intoxicated. And he just, you know, but to say self-defense when we have a video footage showing this man charging, we already know what's going to happen. This man's going to be found guilty because he has this attorney. She's a clown. And then she's impulsive, in my opinion. She's over here clowning the victim who died because of her client, allegedly, saying this man had a Walgreens of drugs in her system. She's a clown. She's a straight clown. And she looked like she's had years of experience to be acting like this. Guys, this is a hot mess. This is a hot, straight mess. I just feel like I'm going to see this in Hollywood somewhere in a movie. I like this prosecutor, y'all. She is not biting her tongue. She was the prosecutor who came at Elon Musk after he had the audacity to try to challenge her and talk about, oh, the crime in San Francisco is a hot mess. What are you doing about it, prosecutor? Well, she came at him with all force. It was like, boy, bye. You don't even know the circumstances. This was a personal matter. You need to sit yourself down somewhere and close it. Okay. So I really like this lady. I think she's a great prosecutor. I think she needs to come down and be more strict on crime for sure. But, I think she handled this case really well. This case just comes down to the lifestyle. And we got Miss Beverly Hills over here. I mean, this woman, look at her, guys. She's absolutely drop dead gorgeous and bougie, married to a plastic surgeon. The woman is privileged and spoiled. And you could tell she's sheltered because her older brother over here still protected this woman who is probably in her 30s. She looks like she's not, I don't think she's in her 20s. What y'all think? Okay. Right. I wonder if she took the bar multiple times. Tiffany says she took the bar at least twice. Girl, she had to take it. Exactly, Tiffany, girl. Because I don't think she could have passed that bar at least the first time with how she talking, okay? Them arguments are so weak. What law school did she go to? Now, here is the brother, Mr. Nima Momeni, over here still overprotected and babying his sister. That's why I feel like there was this underlying jealousy. I feel like this dude was jealous of Bob Lee, too. I think he had a lot more motive than just his sister, okay? Because this woman is a grown woman, married and everything. Okay, let's get on to this article, guys. I said my spiel. Let's move on. News reported 2 weeks ago that an autopsy found cocaine and alcohol in Lee's system when he died. Now, she was being dramatic. That defense attorney was being dramatic. That doesn't sound like a Walgreens of drugs. If a Walgreens of drugs would have been, he had like 5 or 6, 7, 8 or 9, 10 drugs in him. He only had about 3 drugs, I think it was, plus the alcohol. The alcohol part is discouraged in the lifestyle, according to a friend of Lee. Okay, see this lifestyle group, it sounds like some modern bougie group. Guys, can you believe it? The group's called The Lifestyle. I'm done. That does sound like something San Francisco would have. San Francisco has a lot of high profile, bougie, higher upper class people there. And that name does sound consistent with something they would have for an underground raunchy group. Guys, that took me out. The Lifestyle. Okay, so I guess Bob Lee violated the code of conduct of this secret high-profile group he was in because he wasn't supposed to have alcohol. They said you could do drugs, you could do the designer drugs we have, but we don't want you doing alcohol. Oh, they have some type of boundaries, I guess. There is still an understanding of consent and boundaries. I can't believe this, guys. I wonder if they have written procedures in this raunchy group of what you can and can't do. I bet you they do because they are some bougie people. I bet y'all they do. Now, Devon Maris, who knows about this group, said, if someone gets drunk and handsy, then they get excommunicated very quickly from that group. So I guess Bob Lee was violating the group's procedures, having alcohol. Estranged wife Krista Lee said the 43-year-old was more mature than to get into wild parties. Well, Krista Lee, girl, you did not know your husband, honey. Sometimes people will be married to these people and they don't even know that they have underground lifestyles. Think about Ted Bundy and his girlfriend. That girl didn't even know this man was out here killing people. Okay. Killing women. And other people, what's that guy who was, what was it? Bind, torture, and strangle or whatever that guy, whatever his name was, BLT, whatever his name was. He was out here brutally killing families and everything. And his daughter didn't know, his wife, nobody knew that he was out here doing that. So Miss Krista didn't know what her husband was involved in. Okay. She says, but Krista, who was living under a cloud, was saying he was a dedicated father. Lee added in a report reviewed by the British Sun tabloid. She denied he was a party boy. Girl, you did not know your husband was a party boy. Girl, he was out here flying to San Francisco in the lifestyle, which is a wild lifestyle parties before being stabbed, girl. So you didn't know your husband, girl. You didn't know. I'm sorry, but you didn't know. But friend Dana Wagner said that the San Francisco lifestyle crowd included a lot of swingers, cheaters, and liars. Guys, this story gets more raunchy and more raunchy as we read these articles. Isn't this crazy? This little lifestyle, upscale, bougie, raunchy group had swingers, cheaters, and liars. So I'm starting to wonder, guys, was this lady's plastic surgeon husband also a part of this lifestyle group? Because if this group is full of swingers and cheaters, maybe he was a part of this group and he knew that his wife was swinging around, if you know what I mean, with Bob Lee, which is why he's supporting his wife now, because he already knew she was out here doing this. I don't know. What y'all think? This is crazy. The publication adds that tribute letters to Bob Lee will be destroyed at the Burning Man Music Festival in Nevada in the week before Labor Day. Why are they destroying the contribution letters? That's weird. Momeni, 38 years old, remains held without bond, with his next court appearance scheduled for Thursday. Wow, guys, I didn't heard it all. Miss Beverly Hills over here and her raunchy brother, and she got a plastic surgeon husband over here. And the plastic surgeon husband looked older than her, y'all. Look at let me see where we gonna find the husband there. Hold on, let's look at that husband. Here's what she said. Just wanted to make sure you're doing okay. No, Nima came way down hard on you. Thank you for being such a classy man. Okay, but let's look at, there's her husband. So this is her husband right here. This man right here, guys, he looked way older than her. Correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all think he looked way older than her. Don't he look like he like maybe 50s, probably mid to late 50s? Could be, yeah, probably mid to late 50s, maybe even early 60s. Who knows? She looked like she's about in her 30s. So he got him a little young tenderoni wife over here, his little trophy wife. And he probably paid him to have her be in these little raunchy lifestyle groups, you know, to keep her around. Because a lot of these rich, affluent men want trophies. They don't really care about these women really being a quality wife. They just want a trophy that they can go around and parade around when they go to these exquisite appearances and events. They have this little eye candy on their arm. So, guys, this case is crazy. Right, like Bruna said. Bruna said, this is turning into a telenovela at this point. The surgeon is definitely a swinger too. Girl, I agree with you, Bruna. I think he know. Look at his face. He not even disappointed. He know what's going on with his wife. It's like it's another day in the park for him. And actually, he's happy that Bob Lee is gone, in my opinion. He's like, yeah, he needed to go anyway. He was getting way too close with my wife. We have certain boundaries in these lifestyle groups. You just get it on in there. Let's get it on. Right. Let's get it on. Yeah, just saying. And then after that, they don't want you getting too close with their honey bun, okay? And he probably feeling like Bob Lee was getting way too cozy with his wife. They over there going to the apartment now, hanging out at the house when, you know, maybe look at him. He looked like he don't even care. It looked like he's waiting for his wife to get her nails done. That's what it looked like to me. Look at his face. Y'all, this is crazy, isn't it? This story is crazy. I feel like there's going to be this live Netflix documentary or movie that down the line, maybe years down the line, they're going to do a story on this man. Because this story, I mean, I feel like there's going to be a lot more information that comes out about this guy. Marcus says, oh, he reproduced already? Darwin was robbed then. All right. Nice talking to you, Marcus. Hi, Alicia. Alicia says, first, you're more successful than me. Now you're pounding my sister. Oh, no. Right, Alicia. Right, Alicia. Let's talk about it, girl. Let's talk about it. He felt just defeated in all kinds of ways. It was like in his face, a low blow, because he's like, first and foremost, like, I'm with Alicia. I think this is probably what was in Mr. Momeni's mind. He's like, first of all, you outdid me with your career, okay? I'm barely trying to even get it. I am an aspiring IT tech. I am aspiring to get my own business. And you over here, Mr. Cash App founder and all these founders and stuff. First of all, you outdid me in my career, okay? Because, you know, people compete against each other. It's men's ego. And then you got the audacity to slap me in the face, you know, by being with my sister. This took Mr. Momeni out. My younger sister, too, at that. So I'm with Alicia. I like Alicia's take on it, girl. That's probably what he was really thinking. Tiffany's over here laughing. She said Walgreens. She took the bar at least. She took the bar at least twice. Yeah, okay. She probably did, Tiffany, girl. I don't know how many times she took that bar, but she looked like she don't know what she talking about. Okay. Marcus over here. He said, could be worse. Could be Elaine or however you spell it. Right. It could be, right? These people's names are weird. Bruna says, wait a minute. So Momini's sister is at SEX and drug club cheating, and the husband is by her side in court. I just can't. Girl, Bruetta, this sounds like a novella, girl. It sounds like one of you guys said, it sounds like a telenovela. This case is just, I mean, it started out, you know, we barely knew what was going on. And then now it turned into this sex escapade where they're in this secret group engaging in drugs and clubbing. Like, seriously. And then these people are in their late 30s. Y'all should be sitting at home taking care of your kids. You too old to be acting a fool over here. Way too old. Sit down somewhere. Marcus said, for example, if the sister was a normal person, the DA would have popped her as an accessory, even without a compelling case to try to flip her. Oh, you know, that could be true. Christina says she's at 304. Woo, Christina, girl. Christina. She could be because she over here getting her little, they're swingers though. They're swingers, so they probably switching their partners all around. These people are weird. Correction, power, money is just one form. It is, you know. This story crazy. You could just see this story sheds light on the secret raunchy lives of the affluent population. A lot of these rich people be involved in some sick stuff, y'all. And I feel like this case is really shedding light on that and exposing what's really going on behind closed doors with a lot of these celebrities. A lot of these celebrities, because they have all this money, they're able to do a lot of sketchy stuff like this. And there's probably all kinds of underground groups like this, especially in California. You know, California, they over there. They liberal over there. They be doing a lot of crazy stuff over there. Bruna says, actually, I could do a whole list of demonstratives, but I don't feel like it. The brother Nima there wasn't a player. Betcha never find out who all is in this lifestyle club. Right, Marcus? I really am curious of who's in this group. I wonder if Elon Musk is in this group, because Elon Musk is talking a lot of mess. He probably one of the main people in that group too. He probably knew what was going on and he tried to cover it up. That's why he opened up his mouth trying to make it sound like it's a political issue when he probably knew what was going on. Okay. Right. Bruna says, when you do things in the dark, it always comes to light. Yes, that's what's happening. All this sick stuff is coming out. It's crazy, y'all. Marcus says the SEX version of John Wick assassin clubs in real life exists in every major city. Always have and always will. Right. I'm just now hearing about this sick stuff. Pink Dot Average says, swing. I bet that how she met him. Right. She probably met him at one of them swingers lifestyle groups, and then they got it on. Let's get it on. After they got it on, they liked each other a little bit too much and got a little bit too cozy, and she made him her regular sex partner, if you know what I mean. And normal behavior to us is boisterous to them. Real boisterous Americans freak them out, but they are too polite to say so or react. Right. I like Marcus is over here. This man and Marcus, he's new to the chat, but I like him. I like the stuff he has to say. Okay. Everybody know who Elon is and always will. You probably just named whoever snapped on Elon was, and I don't even remember now. Yeah, Elon is annoying. Elon be getting on my nerves, y'all. He talk too much. Sometimes these rich people think they know everything just because they have money. Just because you have money don't mean you smart. Okay. Yesem says she's pretty. It's a wonder her older brother hasn't hurt other men giving her some attention. Or maybe he has. Right. Right, because she's a gorgeous girl, so he probably has been overprotective over this girl for a long time. Look at her. She looked like a model from in front of a magazine. You know, these men, they be getting too caught up with women because of how they look. They end up losing their life over these gorgeous dime pieces. I'm just saying. Let me see if we can find this girl again. Come on. This thing not letting us be great right now. Oh, this defense attorney getting on my nerves, y'all. Yeah, she know better. She know better, y'all. Yeah, this defense attorney, they don't know. They need to get a new attorney. This lady gonna end up leading to this man getting convicted. I really feel that because she's over here making these weak arguments. Look at her over here. She looked like she is a celebrity in Beverly Hills somewhere. Got all these people walking around her, protecting her. She got, I don't know who these two people are, walking and protecting this woman like she's some celebrity from Beverly Hills. Like, seriously, guys, this story is a mess. Oh my gosh, I've lost it, guys. I've lost it. Okay. Okay. Marcus says that this guy's not culturally American. So what if he's acting weird to how you would expect an American to act? Now he's still subject to our laws, but stop expecting now Americans to act American. I don't know if he's American or not. Nobody knows that. They didn't even say whether he's American or not. Okay. So in my opinion, I have a right to have my opinion, Marcus. So you got your opinion, I have mine. And it don't matter. If you're in America and America has certain laws, you have to abide by those laws. Okay? You can't bring your culture from your country into America and think you can defy the laws of the land and think you can get away with it. You chose to come here, so you need to follow the laws that are presented to you and learn those laws. If you don't like it, go back and learn your culture and stay where your culture is embraced. Because you can't come here and say, oh, well, I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm going to break the laws. And if you violate me, I'm going to go ahead and unalive you. That's not how America works. Maybe his culture is different and they permit that to happen over there. But over here, they got certain laws. You got to follow those laws. I'm sorry. You can't. That's not an excuse. I don't care what he thinks in his head. He got to follow the laws. He got to know what the laws are and he got to follow those laws. So, yes, I do think he's overprotective. Maybe it is a cultural thing. Maybe that is, but that doesn't excuse him brutally stabbing this man to death. It doesn't, under any means. She is a grown woman. This woman is in her 30s. She does not need this man over here protecting her. Well, what does he do if he doesn't like what her husband does? What if her and her husband have a disagreement about who cleans the kitchen one night? Is her brother going to get mad and come over there and stab her husband because she had an argument with her husband? Like, seriously, sometimes when a woman is a grown woman, she needs to be able to take care of herself and make certain decisions. And this woman chose to be a part of this very raunchy group. And she has been regularly going to these appearances with this man. She has made her own choice to engage in these raunchy acts. So I don't feel like this brother was doing, I feel like this brother was doing too much. Okay. And like Bruna, I agree with Bruna. That's a good question. Why didn't he ask his sister instead of attacking the Cash App founder? True. Like Bruna says, just ask her. That's weird. Like Bruna said, that's why I feel like it was more to do with jealousy than we really of his sister, because it's like he could have went to his sister and said, hey, did you take any drugs? Like, what's going on? Why do you go and confront Bob Lee? I just feel like he had some secret animosity against Bob Lee, y'all. I just feel that. Y'all let me know. I'm just like, dang. I like what Alicia had to say, though. And I know it's a different culture thing. I respect everybody's cultures, but I'm just saying when it comes to the law is the law, no matter what your culture is, okay? And you got to follow those laws. You don't get to go around and kill people because your culture tells you that you have to protect your sister if she's out here making unilateral decisions for her own life and she chose to get involved with this man in this secret group that is doing raunchy things. Seriously, the man needs to go to prison. Seriously, no excuse. My opinion. Alicia says, kind of weird for a brother to be so protective. How freaky are these people? Right, girl, they are freaky. They're really freaky, Alicia, girl. They are really freaky. Girl, oh, put Benjamin's in the house. Hey, Benjamin. Missed you, Benjamin. It's not right. I think he was jealous of Lee, too. He was a failure at tech. Lee was yes, he was. He was the antithesis of what he is. Yeah, that's true, Benjamin. Good point. Benjamin be dropping straight. He be dropping some good messages in here. I like his stuff. Benjamin said, well, she should have thought about that. I was surprised her brother went after him first and not her. Right. It's the female that right. That's true. This entire honor deletion culture is bizarre. Exactly, Benjamin. It's like, why didn't you just talk to the freaking sister? I agree with you guys in the chat. This could have all been resolved if he just talked to his sister. That's why I feel like there was something more than just what was going on with his sister, guys. I feel like he was jealous of Bob Lee, and this was his opportunity to unalive this man who was literally the GOAT of making Cash App over here. And this man was jealous. They're in the same field. This man's a loser, basically. Look at him over here getting involved in all these kind of problems and he clearly has a drinking problem because he had a DUI in the past, or a charge, not convicted. It was dismissed, but still he was charged with a DUI. Benjamin says, I do not feel bad for the sister of the one who deleted him. She knew and did nothing to assist the police in apprehending her brother. Right. She did nothing with her privileged self. And look at her. They're over here doing little hearts and kissy faces in the arraignment. So when this man was arraigned, they were over here doing hearts and stuff. And hey, let me see if I can find that, guys. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna look up and see if I can find it. But during his arraignment, instead of, it just seems like it's a mockery to Bob Lee's death because she was over here. What is going on with this? Why did? Okay. Let me see. Mameni. What's that guy's name? Nima. Mameni. I want to see if I can find his arraignment because police searched luxury tower where Bob Lee's standing. Oh, let's look at this, guys. There's some more stuff. I want to look at some of these YouTube videos on this because this case is really crazy. It is. It's like, what's really going on?
San Francisco police executed a search warrant at a luxury apartment building where the sister of the suspect in the murder of Cash App founder Bob Lee owns a home. Police confirmed Thursday, following the arrest of tech boss Nima Momeni, that they had executed 3 search warrants in his case. In addition to permission to search Momeni's home, authorities presented a warrant at Millennium Tower, a high-rise residential building in the South of Market District. Momeni's sister, Kazar Momeni, and her husband are listed as the owners of the unit in the ritzy building. Police confirmed that Nima Momeni and Lee knew each other, but have not elaborated on the possible motive. Momeni is due back in court Friday morning and faces a maximum sentence of 26 years behind bars. San Francisco police executed a...
Wow, guys. So this search warrant was executed at the house of Kazar and the plastic surgeon, and it appears that Momeni lives with them because they're saying that that was his place too. So he looks like he's a straight failure. My gosh, a straight failure in life. Details of relationship, Bob Lee. I mean, I'm trying to find that one where they give hearts and stuff. Let's play this real quick, y'all.
She is standing by her brother, Nima Momeni, no matter what the allegations of are regarding this lifestyle business, right? And, you know, the whole sex and drug fueled world that a lot of tech execs are reportedly, you know, digging into these days. My next guest knows something about that. She is a reporter. She's been following this story, and she was there when Kazar showed up in court today. Decca Muldowney is a reporter with the Daily Beast. And like I said, she's on the story. Hey, Decca, thanks for being here. Take me into the courtroom today. I wish I'd been you and also a fly on the wall, but take me there.
Hi, Ashley. Yeah, it was a dramatic scene at the courtroom today. This case is shaping up to have some fascinating characters involved. On one side of the courtroom, you had the friends and family of Bob Lee, including his ex-wife, Krista Lee. Then on the other side of the courtroom, you had Nima Momeni's mother, accompanied by his beautiful younger sister, Hazar. So the courtroom was divided, and these are just fascinating characters. And as we're discovering more and more about this, we're finding out how central Hazar seems to be to this case.
So take me into that piece, because Decca, I already mentioned it to the audience. I'm really behind on this business. I love the movie Eyes Wide Shut, and this lifestyle thing sounds a lot like it. But how does she factor into this lifestyle with Bob Lee? And as I understand, how do Bob Lee's friends factor in? Because I'm hearing that they were worried about him.
Yeah, there was a fantastic piece in the Wall Street Journal this week about Bob Lee's involvement in this underground party scene called The Lifestyle, which really just seems to be about sex, drugs, partying, casual partners, and using drugs to kind of meet people and have new experiences. It appears from the reporting that Bob Lee was involved in this scene, and that that may be how he met Hazar.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
Wow. Wow, guys. That is crazy. To hear that. Oh my God. I'm just like so flabbergasted by this story. That the sister still supporting her brother who killed her lover. It's like, I get it, it's her family, and probably like Marcus was saying about the culture aspect. That's probably why she understood her brother's stance on the whole situation. But still, girl, he went and unalived this guy. You should, I don't know. I can't really talk because I don't even know really what I would do, guys. I really don't. So I can't really judge. Okay. Man accused of founder not guilty. Oh, this attorney right here is a mess, guys. Look at this lady. I'm trying to see if I can find, there is a video of them throwing hearts and stuff, doing heart gestures at Momini. I'm trying to see if I can find that. This is crazy, guys. Oh, here it is right here, guys. I found it. Let's see if we can get it to play.
38-year-old tech executive accused of killing Cash App founder Bob Lee will be back in court to enter a plea. Nima Momini facing one count of murder for the deadly stabbing. Ground 4's Will Tran joining us live in San Francisco with more. Will.
James, it will happen right behind me at around 9 o'clock this morning. This will be the second chance for Momini to enter his plea. He was in court back on April 14th, but that was pushed back because his lawyer was out of town, I should say. Let me show you a picture of Momini. He was arrested shortly after the stabbing of.
Now look at this drawing, guys. You got Momini over here with doing hearts back at his family members, the girl that was involved, Kazar, and the plastic surgeon over here giving him hearts. It's like they're basically condoning what he did to Bob Lee. It's like a straight mockery of Bob Lee's death. Can you believe that? A heart at the... I'm done. I get that you support your family members, but the heart thing is a little too much. When this man killed somebody, you could at least withhold that type of gesture for when you do visitation with him or something, but you're in courtroom with this man's family members who are mourning the loss of Bob Lee, and you're over here kind of mocking them by doing heart gestures to the killer. Even though it's your family member, I get that part, but just some people have to have some type of dignity and grace and reservation about themselves, and this ain't it.
Bob Lee. Now, Bob Lee was killed in the overnight hours on April 4th at around 2:30 in the morning when San Francisco police officers came to an area just off the Embarcadero. Momini, we don't have a motive behind this, but according to court documents, prosecutors say that Momini and Lee knew each other through Momini's sister, that hours before the fatal stabbing. According to prosecutors, Momini confronted Lee whether or not his sister was doing drugs or anything inappropriate. Bob Lee was a star in the tech industry. He started Cash App, as you mentioned, back in 2013. His death actually made national news and was the talk of the tech industry. We do know that today they should have the hearing because his lawyer is back in town. Prosecutors are looking for no bail in this particular case. We will be in court, and we'll let you know the very latest.
Wow, gosh. Alicia says that heart air emoji is going to get him more time. Girl, exactly. It's like no empathy at all. Like, seriously, y'all could have waited to do that. Y'all could have did that maybe when you had a visitation, but don't do that right in the middle of the courtroom where you got family members and everybody else in the media, documenting all this stuff for the jury to see. Wow. It's crazy, guys. It is crazy. So it said he returned to court. Let's see him in action here. Let's see what's going on with him. Hold on, y'all.
I can never die, got a lit spirit.
New at noon. We begin with the killing of Cash App founder Bob Lee, the man accused in that crime back in a San Francisco courtroom a few hours ago. During arraignment, Nima Momeni's lawyer asked for a continuation so she could have more time to review all of the evidence associated with the case. Momeni is charged with murder with a special allegation that he used a knife as a weapon. Prosecutors say he stabbed Lee to death in what they're calling a, quote, planned and deliberate attack. Investigators have linked the killing to Lee's reported relationship with Momeni's sister. Momeni's being held without bail. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins describes him as a, quote, threat to public safety.
Certainly somebody that we believe committed murder is an extreme threat to public safety. In this situation, we have an individual who stabbed Mr. Lee multiple times, including in his heart. That is about as dangerous as it gets, and certainly we believe he should be held in custody without bail.
The judge ordered Momeni to return to court next Tuesday when he's expected to enter a plea. We'll keep you up. 2 at noon. We'll be.
Wow, guys, this man is 38. He looked like he's like 48 or 50. He look old. I don't know. He looked kind of old to me, y'all. Y'all let me know. Okay. So let's see what he did recently. They said that the story of Cash App it is alleged. Well, I want to hear what they got to say in the Wall Street Journal. Let's just hear this. Maybe they give us some more details.
In a case that has shaken Silicon Valley, Nima Momeni pleaded not guilty to murder in the April 4th stabbing of Cash App founder Bob Lee.
The reason the story is really interesting is because it shows this whole other side of San Francisco that a lot of people are not paying attention to.
Initially thought by many to be a random attack on the tech executive, here's a look at how Bob Lee knew his alleged attacker Nima Momeni and what prosecutors say happened the night Bob was killed.
Bob Lee was a brilliant computer programmer. He is not a name best known about Nima Momeni and his family. He immigrated along with his sister, Kazar Momeni, and ended up in the Bay Area. Kazar was...
Okay, so Marcus may have been right about the cultural difference. So they're not American. They immigrated from, they didn't say where he immigrated from, but they immigrated from somewhere else and came here. So maybe what Marcus is saying is true. There may have been some type of cultural aspect to this, that maybe in their culture, they are supposed to protect the younger sister or the younger sibling. And so that's probably why he was so overprotective. So Marcus did give somewhat of a different context to this. And I didn't know that he immigrated from, I don't know where he immigrated from, but that does give us at least some context to why he was so overprotective. Because at first I was like, why is this man overprotective over some woman in her 30s? But maybe because it's a cultural situation here.
Is in the same circles as Bob Lee, in this kind of lifestyle circle where there's quite a lot of partying, recreational drug use, different sexual partners, things like that.
Bob's wife, Krista Lee, whom he was close with even though they were separated, disputed that he was a party boy.
Well, that's his wife, guys, right there with that's her? Dang, she looked different than the picture. She must have been going through some serious grief. I'm shocked that that's her, guys. That look different than that picture we saw, but okay.
And said Bob was more mature than that.
Nima and Kazar were very close, and Nima was kind of overprotective of his sister. A lot of the friends have told us he was often out with her when she was at the party scene.
On April 13th, authorities...
Wow, you would think that's kind of odd that he's out here with his sister at the party scenes, basically to survey her and watch her every move. Dang, it sounds like he was her personal security. So this does sound cultural, guys. Where are they from? I'm gonna type this up. What? I wonder what country he's from, guys. Let me know in the chat if you know what country is Nima Momeni from, because I wonder what the cultural aspect is, because he seemed like he really was overprotective of her. You know, it really can give some context to this man, guys, and his culture, because I really didn't understand why he was so overprotective. What people are saying is, let's see where he's from, y'all. So they said that he is an engineer. Nima Momeni, according to his LinkedIn page, was previously worked as a consultant and system engineer for various San Francisco-based companies, including Marfic and Coast Range Technologies. He resides in Emeryville, California, but where is he from, y'all? They're not telling us. Somebody let me know in the chat if y'all know where this man is from, because this really could shed light on his cultural differences with, because it says they immigrated, but they didn't tell us where he immigrated from. Where is he from, y'all? I need to know his cultural, because I really could bring context to why he was so overprotective. Because I'm like, this woman is in her 30s. Why are you over here babysitting this girl at these parties and stuff? She chose this life, okay? She chose this ratchet lifestyle. Probably even her husband probably involved in that too, because he looked like he just chill and relax in the courtroom. He know what's going on. He probably had the brother watch the sister in the first place. Probably said, keep an eye on my wife when she's in these swinger stuff. I know we're all involved in this, but I don't want her to get too close to whoever she's getting involved with. Oh, no, you don't know. We don't know. They was in some sick stuff, y'all. Okay, I don't know where they're from. I'm trying to figure that out. If maybe one of you guys, my wonderful, incredible, intelligent opinionators and litigators in the chat can maybe look that up while we're talking about this case, because I really want to know the culture aspect to this, because now I'm starting to see this is more than just an overprotective brother. There's some cultural significance and impact to the case.
Arrested Nima.
I am here today to formally announce the charges against Mr. Nima Momeni for the murder of Bob Lee.
In court documents, prosecutors paint a detailed picture of what they allege happened in the hours leading up to Bob's death. Prosecutors say that Bob and Kazar met up at a house party on April 3rd. Nima was also there.
What happens next is kind of a confusing timeline of events.
Okay, I didn't know that detail, guys. I thought that Nima came to the house after the fact, but it turns out that Nima was at the party basically, again, watching his sister while Bob Lee was with her the whole time. Wow. This is crazy, y'all. This story is insane.
Important thing to note is that at some point, Nima Momeni, Kazar's brother, confronts Bob Lee and says, did anything inappropriate happen at that party? Were there drugs? Did anything else happen? And Bob assures him that no, nothing inappropriate happened. Everything is fine.
Later, Bob ended up at Kazar's apartment. Again, Nima was there. Prosecutors say surveillance footage shows Bob and Nima leaving the apartment together in a white BMW.
Basically, they're alleging that Nima drives the car to a secluded spot nearby and stabs Bob to death with a kitchen knife.
Prosecutors claim Bob was left on the street. He called 911, but it was too late, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Nima Momeni entered a plea of not guilty on May 18th and is being detained ahead of trial.
My defense is it's a combination of an accident and self-defense. Absolutely.
Girl, bye. She is a straight clown, y'all. This woman is a clown. We already heard her clown allegations that she thinks it's an accident. I'm done with you.
It was an accident with 3 stab wounds.
See, look at her. She can't even take herself seriously. When she laughed, she know good well that argument is a piece of trash. Did you see her reaction when the reporter asked her? She over here like, well, see what happened was. Okay, thank you, Bruna. Bruna is saying, and Benjamin is saying that he's from Iran. Oh, okay, thank you, guys. So he immigrated from Iran. Now that makes sense, because in Iran, they are very overprotective. Women don't really have much rights in Iran, right? Wow. Okay, this makes sense now. Now I gotta apologize, because I didn't know that there was that aspect. Let's read about this. They're saying that the Iran facts and culture. They say that what's Iran famous for? let's look at that. This rest of this is going to be redundant, so we're not even going to continue watching that, guys. I just wanted to see if they were going to give us some more information on that. But let's look at the Iran culture to see what really going on, okay? Now, as it relates to the family, they said it is legal for a man to have up to 4 wives. However, most men have only 1 wife. Okay, that didn't really tell us anything else. It really didn't. Let's see. Let's get back to where we was. Personal appearance. Men often wear Western styles, although traditional robes. What do they say about the dating? Daughters are usually protected by their families to the point that they often do not speak to male strangers. Wow. I wish I could. They don't let us get the rest of it. You got to pay for the rest of the information. But this right here tells it all. That the daughters are usually protected by their families to the point that they often do not speak to male strangers. So that makes sense for why Mr. Momeni was overprotective. It was a cultural situation going on. Thanks, Marcus really brought that out. That was what was going on. See, I didn't know the cultural aspect, guys. So I was coming from just a general American perspective that, this woman's a grown woman. Why are you over here protecting her? But it's the culture in Iran for the family to protect the woman, the daughter, at all times. And that's probably why Momeni was at all these parties surveying and making sure she was okay, because that is their culture. But still, bro, you don't go here and kill folks. I'm just saying, okay? Now, that is crazy, y'all. Now, Yesem said that he heard that males in some cultures unalive their female relatives if they bring dishonor to the family. That's true. I've heard of that, too. It's a wonder that Nima didn't unalive his sister, Gazar, too. Right. I've seen that in cultures, too. That is true, Yesem. I've heard of that, too, where they have unalived people in the daughter if she did some type of dishonor to the family. So I've heard of that, too. Well, this is making a lot of sense, guys. Now we can understand why he was overprotected, because I didn't know at first, y'all. I didn't know, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize for that aspect. But he still shouldn't have killed this man. I'm just saying, okay? There's certain different ways people do in America, and he should have understood that, they came here to this country and they want to live in this country. They got to also understand the cultural contexts that go on in America, too, though. If you're going to come to a different place, you got to follow the laws there. I'm just saying. So, for example, if I move to Iran, I got to follow their culture. I chose to move over there. I got to follow their customs. I got to do what they say over there. If I go to Russia, I got to follow their culture. If I go to Japan or China, no matter where I move, you got to follow the laws of the land. That's just the way it is. I understand his mindset, but I don't think it was acceptable, unfortunately, for him to go out and take this man out. He should have talked to his sister in the first place, like a lot of you guys had to say, to figure out what was really going on and ask her if she did drugs. He could have asked her himself. He didn't need to come for poor Bob Lee. And now Bob Lee is gone, y'all. So thank you for sitting here with me so long talking about this crazy, crazy tragedy. It is so sad and unfortunate that this 43-year-old successful, accomplished man is gone. He was a legend in the tech industry, very accomplished, and just it goes to show and shed the light on some of the raunchy things affluent people are involved in that could be very dangerous and can be very deadly. I know drugs and sex and all that stuff can lead to some very dangerous results. All right, guys, have a lovely Sunday and take care. God bless.